We are talking about solving one-step equations with decimals in this video. So I have a few examples here for us, also some notes over here on the side. Let's get started with this first problem. We've got 3.5 or 3 5/10 plus x equals 5.7 or 5 7/10. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line down through my equal sign. That kind of splits up my equation from left side to right side, and it helps me identify where I'm going to be working. So I'm going to identify my variable right here, and I did just post a video about solving one-step equations with integers. If you want to check that out, that kind of gives you a lot of just these steps and the reasons why we add, subtract, multiply, or divide in order to solve these equations. I'm going to put a link for that in the description. But honestly, with decimals, really the methods are pretty much the same. We're just working with decimals instead of integers. So this 3.5 is a positive 3.5, and that's being added to x. So in order to undo this 3.5, we want to subtract 3.5. And don't forget, whatever we do to one side of the equation, we need to do to both sides of the equation to keep it an equation, to keep it equal on both sides. So let's see, this is going to cancel out over here, leaving me with just x. And then over here, 5.7 minus 3.5. With decimals, just be sure to line up your decimal points and line up those place values. In this case, both of my decimals just have one tenths place, one decimal place after the decimal point. So pretty easy to line up. So we're just going to subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. I'm going to drop down my decimal, and then 5 minus 3 is 2. So we wind up with x equals 2.2. All right, and then in problem 2, we've got b minus 0.4 equals 9. So again, I'm just going to draw a line down that equal sign to split up my equation. This 0.4 is being subtracted away from b, so I want to cancel that out. I want this, anything that's being added or subtracted to a variable, to cancel out to 0. I want it to go away completely to 0 so that it just leaves whatever variable I have. So that means we need to add 0.4 on this side as well. This is going to cancel out just like I wanted it to. I wanted this to be b minus 0 or b plus 0, but I'm just going to drop down just b. And then over here, again, I just want to make sure that those decimal places are lined up. So 9.0 plus 0.4 gives me 9.4. So that's our solution for the second problem. All right, in our third problem, we have m over 1.2. So keep in mind that a fraction is just kind of a different way of writing division, right? M is being divided by 1.2. So in order to undo any division, we want to multiply. So we're going to multiply by 1.2. Now you can leave it just as this, or you can write it as a fraction if you want, if that helps you to see how this 1.2 will cancel out with this 1.2. Okay, and I need to multiply this by 1.2 as well. I'm going to just go ahead and write it underneath. Normally, if I was dealing with integers, I would write it to the side like this, but because I have double digits here for both of these, I want to just write it underneath, so I can go ahead and multiply that right here within the problem. All right, so like we said before, we are going to cancel out these 1.2s, and then the m is going to be over 1, right? So m over 1 is just the same as m. So I just need to drop that down, and then let's see what this equals. So 2 times 4, remember with decimals, you don't necessarily have to line up your decimals. This one just happened to line up. But you do want to just go ahead and multiply through as if the decimals weren't there, and then add the decimals in at the end once you have your final product. So 2 times 4 gives us 8. 2 times 8 gives us 16. I'm going to cross that out, drop down a 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 8 is 8. When I add all of that up, I get 8, 10, and then another 10. And then again, I've got 1 decimal here, 1 decimal here, so I need to move this over 2 times. So m equals, I'm just going to drop that down here, m equals 10.08. All right, let's see what we've got for problem 4. We've got 6y equals 24.6. So Just keep in mind that whenever we have a number and a variable just put together like that and no symbols in between, it always means multiplication. So in order to undo that multiplication, we want to divide. So let's divide by 6. Whenever we have a number and a variable that's being multiplied or divided, we want to cancel this out to 1, right? So this 6 divided by 6 is going to give us that 1y that we're looking for. So that's going to cancel out over here. And then we're going to divide this by 6 as well. Let me go ahead and drop down my y equals. I'm going to go ahead and set this up with a bracket. So remember, with decimals, only if you have a decimal point in the number on the outside that you're dividing by, that's the only time that you need to move any decimals around. So we don't have that, so I'm just going to bring my decimal straight up from here. 6 can go into 24 4 times with nothing left over, and then 6 can go into 6 1 time with nothing left over. So we've got 4.1 for our y. Oops, and I forgot to circle my solution for problem 3. Okay, there we go. All right, I do want to show you an alternative method for working with decimals, and this is what we call clearing decimals. All right, so let's take a look at number 5. I'm going to go ahead and drop down my line right here. So I've got 3.1c equals 37.2. What I can do is multiply each term by 10. And what that does is that moves my decimal point over 1 place value. So now I just have whole numbers that I'm working with. Now I'm allowed to multiply by whatever number I want to, as long as I multiply each term by that same number. I chose to multiply by 10 because that's all I needed to get my decimal moved over one spot. Each of these numbers just had a single digit after the decimal point, so that's all I needed was just that one movement of the decimal point. So now what I have is 31c equals 372. So c is being multiplied by 31, so I want to divide to undo that 31, that multiplication of 31. I'm going to divide over here by 31. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to write that out in the standard algorithm to, oops, not 21, 31, to go ahead and solve that. So 31 into 37 is 1. That goes in 1 time. And then this gives me 6. Drop down the 2. 31 goes into 62 2 times. And that comes out evenly. So I don't have any decimals or anything like that. That's for my solution. So C equals 12. And let's think about that, what we just did by multiplying each of these by 10 to begin with. If we had left them as decimals and just divided by 3.1, this was 3.1 divided into 37.2, what would we have done once we got to this division part? Well, whenever we divide by a number that has a decimal, we want to move it over as many times as we can until we get a whole number. And then we're going to move over the decimal the same number of times for that number that we are dividing. So we would have still wound up with 372 divided by 31. So this is a good shortcut for a problem like number 5. Let's see how it works with a problem like number 6. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down my line here. Now let's look. In this number we have 2 place values after the decimal, and in this number we only have 1. You want to multiply by a number that is large enough to get all of the numbers as a whole number. If we only multiply by 10, that would work for this one, right? We would move this over 1 time. But if we move this over 1 time, we still would just have 10.8. So we need to multiply by 100 on all of these. And notice that I'm multiplying the f times 100 as well. Each term needs to be multiplied by the same number. So let's multiply this by 100 and move this decimal over 2 times for all of these. And this is just going to give us 100f. So I'll just go ahead and write that down here. So in this spot, since we have an empty spot, we're just going to fill that in with a 0 as a placeholder. So what we have is 100f minus 108 equals 950. So bigger numbers, but we're dealing with whole numbers instead of decimals. And sometimes that's easier to do. Now, this does make this a 2-step equation. Take a look at where our variable is. Here it is. f is right here. And what's happening over on this side of the equation, because that's where our variable is. F is being multiplied times 100, and then 108 is being subtracted away from that F term. So we always want to work in backwards order of operations when we have any more than 2 or more steps in an equation to solve. Meaning that we're going to undo any addition, subtraction first, and then we're going to undo any multiplication or division. All right, okay, so we're going to start by undoing this subtraction of 108. We're going to add 108 to both sides. 108. That's going to cancel out here. And we are left with 100f on this side of the equation. And then this is going to give me 8, 5, 10, so 1058. All right, so now we do need to get rid of that 100 that's being multiplied times f. So we're going to do that by dividing by 100. Divide by 100. Now this might look a little scary, but don't worry, because remember when we multiplied all of these numbers by 100, we just took that decimal and moved it 2 times to the right. When we divide by 100, we're going to take that decimal and move it 2 times to the left. So these 100s are going to cancel out, leaving us with just f equals, and then we are going to go ahead and just put in that decimal there. When it's a whole number, the decimal appears at the very end after the ones place, and we're going to move it 2 times over. So we get 10.58 for our solution for problem 6. I hope you enjoyed learning about how to solve one-step equations with decimals. I do have some other videos on integers and fractions as well, solving one-step equations with those. So I will put all of the links of those in the description below. This is part of my pre-algebra series, which contains a ton of videos over all of the skills that you might see in a typical pre-algebra class. So check out that link as well. And I'll see you next time.